What's going on, everyone? Exciting day down here. We're just working away, but we had a package delivered from JSP. So this could only be one thing. Let's open this thing up and find out what it is. Check it out. How exciting is that? That is the adapter plate for the Plymouth. Shout out to JSP Fab. These guys hooked it up. Super quick delivery, super lightweight. That thing looks freaking awesome. So shout out to them. We got the engine and the transmission coming for the Plymouth. So just stay tuned for that. And we're gonna be getting this thing mocked up super soon. It's so exciting. We got everything sitting over there. Now it's just time to put it all together. We cannot mount the cab until we get the engine and trans kind of in place, because then we need to see how the cab's gonna fit around that. So I wanted to show you guys that. Let's get back into building this thing. All right, y'all, so this was a battle. I knew it was only held in by a couple bolts, but those couple bolts fought me. But we were able to get the engine out of the 39 and the driveline out, and this gentleman's here to pick it up. So we are totally got it sold. It's going to a good home. He's gonna use it. One less thing on the scrap pile. Now this thing can really go to the junkyard and me not feel bad. So engine's out. We do have some exciting news. I was able to get the transmission adapted to the engine. Check that out, y'all. So we're going to be doing a lot of testing this weekend, but for now we're going to load this gentleman up. All right, y'all, so the engine is gone. That's a pretty good day there. Pretty happy I didn't have to send it to the junkyard. One less thing to the scrap. And yeah, so let's get back on to bodywork on this Plymouth here. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull this manual steering rack off. We were actually just talking, we might go power steering with one of the electrics, like out of a Civic or kind of whatever's running one of those electric power steerings now. That might be a better option for us if we can make one work in this thing. So we're gonna see here, but for now I'm gonna just pop this column off so we can cut the front end, get our kind of estimate, and go from there. So I just got that pulled out. We most likely won't be using this again, but I'll hold on to it just in case we need it for future. But that just cleaned it up even a little bit more. Now we're gonna make another measurement. So we know we need, like, I don't even remember what it was, 40.5 inches on the hood. 32, it's looking like right under 32.5. So let's go 32 3/8. 32, let's just say 32.5. So if we were to come off here, I'll hold it somewhere in there, come back, 32.5, we'll put us somewhere in there. So we need to cut off somewhere right in this area, which will be, you know, right in here. So we can probably, I'm not even worried about trying to save none of this stuff. This is what happens when you get into customizing and using, this is an S10 frame from a 91 on a 39 Plymouth truck, so you can't expect everything to go well, and if it does, you're doing something right, I'd say. And if it doesn't, like we like to call it, plan B. Just try something different and just keep working with it until you get something that actually works. Nothing's permanent. If you weld it on, you can cut it off. If you don't want it there, remove it. So the joys of doing it like that, just like so. We got that out. I don't even know how they got that in the frame. That's kind of crazy. there's a bolt in there. But anyways, we're gonna get rid of most all of this up to the knuckles. Might not tonight, just so we can cut it and reset the front end. But now we'll be really close. This thing weighs a ton, and we were thinking about just trying to cut up all the front end and making it work kind of around the box for the power steering, but I think it'd be nicer to keep all this factory bracketry in the grill just to kind of hold it all together, so it kind of stays in one piece a little better versus trying to make up something to hold it all into place there. Just use what we've already got. So we're gonna start on getting that all mocked up. All right, y'all, bear with us. There is nothing quote unquote easy about, everybody uses the word customizing, which I mean, that is truly what we're doing here, but I don't want to call it like Frankensteining or shoehorning or, you know, just shoving things into stuff, I guess is really what I would like to call it. I agree, I'm doing a custom build, but everybody's done a custom build. Tony down the street, Jim up the road, Bobby down the hill. Everybody's done a customization of some kind, so I don't really want to call this one a custom truck. It's just going to be a little bit different. It's my own taste, my own ideas, my own designs, just kind of what I got pictured for my 1939 Plymouth. I know everybody's got their own ideas. Some might agree with what I'm doing, some may not agree with what I'm doing, but in the end, we all enjoy our own projects, and that's what it's all about. I'm not here to make sure Timmy likes the Plymouth. I'm here to make sure I enjoy the Plymouth. I got to get in it and drive it every day, weekends, whenever I drive it. We have to enjoy our vehicles, not the other people. So let's drill this hole and see if we can't get this to come up and level back. Lift the cab up a little bit more to be able to do that. Not what we're after, so let's drill it. Holy moly, this steel from 39 is so thick, it's just taking forever to get through. So, as you guys can see, I'm starting on the hole. It's just going so stinking slow. So, I'll pick y'all up once it's done. All right, pretty stoked. That's just a real rough, it ain't even square in there. I still got to bring it over a little bit, cut the tunnel a little bit more, but I cut it enough to make it clear. So if I notch this just a little bit more, maybe bring this circle kind of just out on both sides, it'll actually wrap around the tunnel, around the trans, excuse me, right here and over on this side. So I need to make that just a little bit bigger of a hole there, and then the K-series will fit. I do have it back down on my 3.5-inch blocks, so there will be another 1/2 inch added into this. I'm gonna go for a total of 4 inches on the lift of the cab when all said and done. So I mean, I got it back down on the ground. It's sitting pretty level in a sense. The frame's a little funky on this thing. We don't know if it's bent or if it's the ground or suspension or kind of what it is, but we're about a 1/2 inch off no matter what we do on suspension. So we've got a little bit of work to do there. Nothing crazy, I don't care what it takes really. We're gonna get this thing done. And if you what is going on, everyone? Down here late night trying to make some headway on this here truck. I've got a lot to do. I've got customers' cars and everything else, but man, I've just been giving them my all here lately and been getting tired. Hold on, bear with me. All right, now we're clean. Been getting tired and burnt out, just working non-stop, and sometimes just gotta sit back and work on your own stuff or take at least a couple minutes. Like this is a late night. It's what, 9:30, 10 o'clock down here. I just got back down here, worked till about 6. So got to put a couple hours in on this truck. I got to get it a little more put together than what it is. Running out of time. But enough rambling. Let's get on to pulling this cap. Yes, that's my temporary drive shaft. It's just kind of a guidance deal is all I'm trying to do with it, to make sure the cab will fit down over that. Because this rope will be basically like at the highest point. So if I was to go like that, now that one's at its highest point, and it's at its highest point at the back there. So as long as I can get everything to go around that, I should be okay. Maybe leave myself a little bit of extra room, but that should be that. Trans is pretty close to where I want it. The engine's gonna have a kick on it, so I wish it didn't kick that way, the way that the oil pan is, but maybe that'll work better because oil will sit up higher versus down low. But that's all pretty in line. And yeah, so let's chop all these brackets off and get to mounting that cab back on. So just like that, I was able to cut these off. Pretty clean cuts. Now I'll just grind them down a little bit. This mount I'm gonna box in, and if I have to, I'll extend it. But I think the cab's gonna have to sit somewhere right back in here. So what I might do is put a plate on the bottom, weld it all in, grind it smooth, maybe put a plate, and then whatever, make this hole vanish, and then drill a new hole for my mounts, yada yada. If I use this, and I put this basically right on top, that's the gap I need from here to here. That's right about 5 inches. So I think since these are already level on the frame, and I know that this bushing's the same size as that bushing, if I just go ahead and use these mounts at 5 inches, then I know if I put a level on my cab once it's set and bring the nose down to 5 inches and the level's level, build my mounts for the front real quick, and then I will know that the cab, quote unquote, should be level on here. Squareness, I'm not sure, but levelness, I think I can get it. So let's try to go ahead and set this cab back on here now and start with these mounts. I'll grind all this down when I get ready to make all the mounts and whatnot, but let's see if we can make this thing clear. Alright, so I've got the cab back down. As you can see, I have just a little bit of space between the mounts. So I'm going to do some measurements real quick on those, see where I'm at on them, and then determine how much height I need for temporary fitting. Alright, so I've got the cab about, I think, where I want it. I've been doing some wiggling. I've got some mounts kind of made up, sort of ish. Just, these are all test runs. This is just so I can simply see if things are going to fit. As you've seen, I just now cut these off. Short, they have to be cut off somewhere in here. So I just cut them off because these brackets, these little round ones, were in my way. Both these on each side. So versus just cutting them off, I know this had to come off anyways. I just cut right behind them. Bam. I know I've still got 6 inches or so to play with. So I'll use a Sawzall to cut those off nice and straight when the time comes, but I just needed them out of my way. Figured that would be the easiest way. Now I'm going to try and test fit the fenders onto the front end. I might clean up some of this metal and actually tack weld these onto the cab right where they need to be. And then start wiggling the cab, front end, all that good stuff. So let's see what the mock-up looks like. We look here at our level. We're sitting right in our bubble yet. So I know the cab's level, I know the frame's basically level. Man, this is actually going pretty good. It is, I started about 10:30. It's now 1. So it takes some time in order to do this custom work type stuff. Custom. I said I wasn't going to call it custom, but you know, that's technically what this work is custom work. One-off fun stuff right here, I tell you. It's all time consuming, but it's looking really good. Really good. So I'm gonna work on getting that nose brought over. I might have to do some trimming and whatnot, but let's get the front of this thing all put together. Check it out. Found me a 15mm. Yep. And some bolts. So got this one cut off, pretty dang square. I'm gonna go over there, judge the distance, lop that one off. And then I'm going to cut these, cut them across, beat them in, cut it down, beat it in, and then that should allow this piece right here to slide down in there. And hopefully I can notch it enough that when that slides down in there, it gives me the room that I need. So I'm gonna lop both these off, cut those, beat them, and then see where we're at. You want the whole interweb to hear about the birds and the beanstalk? Oh, okay. We'll let that one wait then. We're gonna work on getting this nose cone to all. Yeah, you gotta figure out your goggles. I always get your Titan and then I'll tie you up. We're gonna get this nose cone set. We need to cut just a little bit off each of these. It was late as crud last night and I almost had it, but I couldn't get the hood off by myself after I set it. So I had to wait for a new day in order to get that done. So we got the front end back apart. Yeah, we're gonna notch these, put the front back on. Should hopefully be able to bolt all the fenders, bolt the hood, kind of bolt everything so I know it's right where it needs to be. Look how close we're getting. Yeah. Alright, so we went a little crazy on it. Started bolting things up to kind of see. And we were thinking the nose needs to come down a little bit, and that'll help clean up this gap. And then just kind of square things up. We've got the dowels in underneath. And this one's really good, and that one needs to go back a little bit. So if we can get the nose down and tilted back, we should be in the money. Now it's really close. So time to tear it all back apart. I'm not filming a lot of this because it's literally just on and off, on and off, on and off until you get all your measurements where you want them and test fit it again. So we'll see you guys on another test fit.